Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea or hot chocolate if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who threatened OP to have arrested cause he threw away his stuff and not gave it to her. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. Ed. Entitled Dad, ES. Entitled Son is maybe my age, maybe a bit older, BC. Which cop? The story. It's the day after my birthday. I was stoked to exist due to the wonderful birthday I had. Unfortunately, it was a Monday and I had to commute to my university for class. No problem since I was in such a good mood. I drive as normal, singing along to the music I was playing in my car. I took my exit as normal as well. However, when I got to the end of the exit where the stoplight is, a car ended up trying to switch lanes without signaling and ended up hitting me. You see, the exit has 3 lanes towards the end, one to go left, one to go straight and one to go right. I was in the middle lane, trying to go straight, and the car that hit me was in the left lane. I was terrified because this was my first accident. I hate to say, but I'm kinda of a coward, and so I was also crying because I was that freaking scared. We pull out of the exit and go into a nearby parking lot to call the police. And now the crap begins. Steps out of the driver's side of his car and comes over to my passenger side window, tapping it. Why did you hit my car? Who are you to drive so recklessly? Yo. What the hell? Do you know how much this car was? It was a Lexus, so I assumed a lot. At that point, I just lock my doors and call my dad. My dad then reassures me that everything will be okay and to just calm down and call the cops. I do just that, but Ed continues to be a prick while his son is also calling the cops. Ed is just standing outside my passenger side window, holding a checkbook. He keeps telling me, "You're young. This will go on your permanent record. Can you even afford the increase in insurance? Let us give you money." When the son was done with the 911 call, he also joined his father and started being a freaking prick, yelling, "Yo, just take the money and freaking leave. We have places to be." I'm no genius, but I knew that if I took the money and left, they would have told the cops, who were on the way, that it was a hit and run, thus the blame would all be on me. I just put on my headphones and waited for the cops, all the while the ED and ES were goading me to take their money and just leave. City police eventually come to the lot. When I saw the cop pull up, I put away my headphone and stepped out of my car. The cop, who is BC, walked right past me and went towards the ED and asked him what had happened. ED then proceeded to tell the BC that I hit him while merging into the center lane. When the cop came over to me, he told me that it's out of his hands since it was on state highway lines, so state police was on the way. He then had the gall to tell me, drive responsibly next time when it was not my fault and without asking for my side of the story. I get back in my car and lock the door once again as I waited for state police. Again, ED and ES were at my window telling me to take their money and save my permanent record. State police eventually arrived and they did their jobs. They asked me to tell my side and they asked ED and ES to tell their sides. ED and ES said the same thing they told the city police, that I hit them while merging lanes. I said the opposite. The state policeman didn't take ED and ES's crap. The damage on our car said otherwise. He just listened to the two who were giving smug glances back at me every once in a while. Eventually the police let us go, and the waiting game starts for the police report and insurance claims. Fast forward 2.5 weeks and the police report says exactly what the truth is. That ED and ES were at fault for the accident and that they actually told the cops that they offered me money to leave, but I didn't take it. They had to pay over $2,000 for my car repair, as well as the money for my rental car. My insurance didn't even go up, in fact it dropped due to losing the status of new driver. Probably ED got ticketed for attempted bribery and trying to coax an individual to do a criminal act. What did he think about? A bit of context. Due to a brain injury a few years back, my father's motor skills haven't been the greatest. He can't operate machinery and his memory is awful. He can usually walk around fine if wobbly on most days, but when he's having a bad day, he needs the help of a cane or a walker. Even then he can be pretty prone to falling over. No biggie and no ambulance needed as long as he doesn't hit his head and he can easily get back up with help. So he's with me as we're on a grocery run since he insists on paying. I'm carting our stuff back to the car and he's hobbling alongside me with his cane as it's a bit of an off day for him. I begin loading our stuff into the car when Dad takes a bit of a tumble. As I go over to help my dad stand, I nearly jump out of my skin as this nearby woman with kids sees us and practically screams. I kinda shoot her, "What the hell, lady?" Look while I'm helping him up, but this woman is just scowling at me and whispering into her phone. I help my dad into the car so he can sit and catch his breath. While I finished putting up my groceries, I heard someone call out to me. I turned to see a police officer. Do you want to know what this Karen's reaction was to seeing a 50-something-year-old man with a cane falling over was? Apparently, other than screaming, it was to call the cops and report him for public drunkenness. I didn't even know what was a thing until it was explained to me, but apparently in my state it's a Class C misdemeanor and you can get fined up to $500. A few questions and a breathalyzer test cleared my dad's name and we got to go home without incident, and I never did find out what happened to that nutcase of a woman. But what kind of butt-backwards worldview do you need to have in order to look at an elderly person who's fallen over, see that they have a cane, and think you a drunkard and hazard to polite society? I'm willing to bet Karen has been charged with the same thing she tried to report your dad for. If I was this cop, I'd be pissed about some Karen wasting my time with an obviously bogus call. First, a little backstory. I recently moved across the country, back to warmer climates. It is very expensive to move furniture 2,000 miles, so a lot of stuff is cheaper to buy new. As I was separating my personal and sentimental belongings from what I was going to replace, I had a brilliant idea. I decided to offer the stuff I wasn't taking with me for free online, as most of the items were still in good condition. I'd rather my old furniture and assorted items go to charities and people who could use them instead of the landfill. My only condition was that the person taking something had to pick up and transport any item themselves. The first item I posted was my pull-up tower with VKR. It had some minor wear and tear, but it was still in overall great condition. It was then that I encountered the dreaded EM. Thankfully, I only posted a newly created email account along with my town as my contact info to limit my exposure to potential threats, in this case, an irate Karen. No name, no address, just a town so people could assess travel for pickup. Me, EM. Mother completely detached from reality, ick. Innocent kid, college student. Soon after posting that my pull-up tower was available for free, I was contacted by IK. After an email correspondence, I suggested we talk on the phone and gave him my cell number. He called to discuss getting the tower. Hi. I emailed you about the pull-up tower. I just started college at the state university in your town, and some friends and I are renting a house near campus. I think we could really use the equipment to save money by having it instead of a gym membership. College is expensive, so I completely understand. Smart move on looking for ways to save money. I'd be happy to let you have it. You'll need to partially disassemble and reassemble it to get it through doorways. Nothing crazy. Just a couple of screws and bolts. It's surprisingly lightweight at 75 pounds and easy to move. Although, I do recommend a van or something large for transport. When do you think you can come pick it up? Probably next month. Sorry. I'm moving in a couple of weeks, so I need it gone before then. If you can come sooner, it's yours. Otherwise, I'll have to give it to the next person. Let me call my mom to borrow her car this weekend. It's a big SUV, and I should be able to swing by in a day or two. Great. That's when everything started to go horribly wrong. It was clear from what transpired next that whoever coined the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished" had clearly met this EM. I get a phone call from IK's phone, so I answer. Hello? You can deliver my son's tower on Saturday at 10 a.m. What? Who are you? I'm the customer. Are you stupid or something? I want you to deliver his workout equipment on Saturday. That's when I can be at the house to let you in. I'm very busy, you know. I'm not a store lady, and I don't do deliveries. What? How dare you? I am a paying customer. No, you aren't. The tower is free. I'm moving and giving it away. That's no excuse for treating a customer like this. I want to speak to your manager. I can have fired over this. As she continued to scream nonsense at me, the image of the stereotypical Karen haircut popped into my mind. I don't know whether she had one, but I'm guessing she did. I could practically see the haircut in my mind while she ranted. Her son seemed so nice and polite, so I'm wondering if he was adopted or there was a mix-up in the hospital. Then her next comment snaps me back to attention. If you don't deliver on Saturday, I'll take my business elsewhere. Fine by me. Click. Later on, IK emailed me to apologize for his mother. Like I said, he was nice, so I'm guessing maybe he takes after his father. He said he still wanted the tower, and I told him he could still have it. He called me to get my address and directions, and that's when EM reappeared. So what time works for you? I have some meetings earlier in the day, but I can meet you after 5 p.m. I'm in the northern part of town and will text you the address when I get home. Oh, it's you again. I hope you've learned how to be respectful to your customers. She must have snatched the phone from IK's hand because I could hear him protesting in the background. Again, you're not a customer. It's free. Well, that's no way to run a business. But I expect nothing less from an idiot. Whatever. Can you put it back on? Not until we get some things straightened out. Like what? If my son is going to pick up and assemble this himself, you need to compensate him. That's the polite thing to do. $500 sounds fair. First, I'm not paying you to give your son something for free. Second, the item didn't even cost half that when it was still new. So, no and no. But my son is a smart college student with a bright future. His time is very valuable. So is mine. Not as much as my son's, so $500 should be fine. Besides, as a college student, he could use the money. Why are you being so selfish? How is a free pull-up tower being selfish? Also, what is the warranty on the product in case it breaks? No money, no warranty. It's free and as is. I need your company and warranty info in case it breaks and my son hurts himself, so I know who to sue. Lazy people, not the word she used, like you don't make quality products. I'm not a company. I don't work for the manufacturer. I didn't make it. I'm just moving and giving it away. What? Why are you trying to give my son gifts then? Are you some child harasser trying to seduce my son? I should call the cops on you right now. And I'll tell them about the money you still owe me. I can have you arrested. I don't have time to deal with a lunatic off her meds. Forget it. I'll just throw it out. How dare why? Click. I ignored the rest of her calls, texts, and nasty voicemails that came throughout the day. Threats of suing me, demanding a refund, and claims that I was after her baby continued. Just bizarre. So glad I didn't post my address or name in the ad. I threw out the pull-up tower and considered the matter over. And I was wrong. Sunday morning rolls around and my phone rings. It's early and I was still sleeping, so I didn't check my caller ID before answering. Hello? I was only half awake and yawning. Where were you yesterday? I waited at the house all day for you to show up and deliver the tower. This is unacceptable. I'll have you fired over this. What? Leave me alone, crazy lady. I'll accept your apology if you deliver it today, and you need to give me a full refund for the cost of the item. Being this late, I shouldn't have to pay for it. You didn't pay anything. It was mine, and I threw the tower away. What? I'm calling the cops on you. How dare you throw away my stuff? You're gonna be arrested. The tower was mine to do with as I saw fit. I paid for it and I have the receipt to prove it. I had every right to throw it out. You're going to pay for the delay, the cost of a new tower, or I'm taking you to court. I'll have you arrested for stealing and fraud and child. Go ahead and try. The tower belonged to me. I have the receipt. I also have insane voicemails, threats, and texts from you. You have nothing. You'll be arrested for filing a false police report, death threats, stalking, and probably more. Although, you probably have a good shot at an insanity defense. I hung up and didn't pick up after that. She kept calling, but it didn't matter as I was getting a new number soon when I moved. After one Karen, I took down my ads and made arrangements with a local charity run by a nearby church to pick up anything they wanted for the poor. They weren't professional movers, so some of the heavier stuff had to be taken by a trash service. Her son emailed me again to apologize for his lunatic mother. I told him that he did nothing wrong and had nothing to apologize for. I said I was sorry he missed out on a free pull-up tower and wished him the best of luck in school. I feel so sorry for the poor son in this story. He was trying to save money and his mum had to ruin it for him. And gotta say you handled this beautifully. ED. Entitled Dad, EM. Entitled Mom, GF. Girlfriend, me, OP. Alright, so my roommate in college was a nice person at first. In years 1 and 2 he seemed pretty nice. Then he met Em. I never really liked her, she was dirty and would constantly come to me in Ed's apartment and insist I do all the cooking and dishes because I want to spend time with my boyfriend. Before I knew it, she was pregnant. By year 3, they had brought new life, oh no, into this world. Ed has decided that she needed to move in with us, and I knew housing was tight around campus, so I agreed. The next year was painful as I found myself having to babysit my nephew and cook and clean for the lovebirds. They would constantly claim it's hard being a parent, we need to relax whenever I tried to make them pitch in around the house. It was around that time I met GF. So with GF spending more time around the apartment and me spending time around GF's apartment, I found that whenever I would leave, they would make an excuse trying to force me to stay as their bondsman. I'm going out to GF's apartment tonight. But you said you would watch our son tonight. No, I didn't. This kind of exchange was happening a lot, and so when I decided I would move in with GF, we all sat down to discuss plans. I'm moving out guys, what up, and I are getting our own apartment. That seems a bit rash, we have plenty of space in this apartment. Lie, why don't you come here? Well, I think it's time for a change of scenery for me. But then who will watch son when we are out? I don't know, maybe hire a babysitter. You did this. You made him abandon us. I didn't do it, he has always been complaining about all the things he's forced to do and how you never help out. It's hard being a mother, it's happening, goodbye Em. And so, for the next month of my lease, they constantly tried to break us up and to talk me out of moving. They thought I would be their bondsman forever and wanted to make sure they were in control. I haven't spoken to them since. If people who have kids are constantly trying to get someone to babysit for them, then they shouldn't have kids because they clearly can't handle it. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who tried to steal OP's cat, but then the cruel truth revealed. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.